Arsenal showing a little bit of fight against all expectations from so many people, and a fantastic 2-0 win for Arsenal against Newcastle United. I thought we were absolutely exceptional in the fight. The most important thing is, for me, is for us to show fight because we've got the talent. We've really done well this season, and it's very important for us to be able to showcase more than just our technical ability, our tactical ability, and our mental capabilities. We need to show fight as well, and that's all you can ask for. If Man City still beats us to the end of the league race, then that's fine. You just want to see fight. That wasn't there in a lot of the West Ham game. You can say there was fight in the Liverpool game. There wasn't fight in the Man City game. And you can say there was fight, but a lack of quality against Nottingham Forest. But that's what I want to see, and that's what makes me proud. The Arsenal women have done it now recently, as well as the Arsenal men, and hopefully we can continue to fight. There is it 3 games to go? Yes, 2 home games, two and 1 away game. Brighton and Wolves at home, and Nottingham Forest away. There's 3 games to go from this very long season, and hopefully we can get 9 points. It's probably not going to come down to goal difference. It's going to be Man City has to probably drop 7 points, if I'm not mistaken, or possibly 5. I haven't worked it out properly, but the Everton game comes in between their 2 Real Madrid games. We know Everton are fighting for their lives. They're playing tonight against Brighton away from home, so that means that Everton's going to, somewhere along the line, they need to start getting points to stay in the league. And then you've got the resurgent Chelsea, so hopefully we need Chelsea to perform now. So they've got this very expensive assembled squad, and they will be playing Manchester City at the Etihad after Manchester City have completed their second leg against Real Madrid. So 2 huge games against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they fight until the very end. They do give you chances, but they obviously create, and they've got the experience in the Champions League as well. So from that standpoint, the Chelsea-Everton game, and then they've got 2 very difficult away games at Brighton and Brentford to end the league. So even though under normal circumstances you expect Man City to win all those games, and they very well might, however, this is now what Arsenal needs. Arsenal need to get their 9 points. Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest away, and Wolves at home. So that's the next 3. I think all of them are Sundays. The Forest game could be on a Saturday. Yes, it's a Saturday evening. Otherwise, it's 2 consecutive. And well, Brighton is also. When is Brighton? Brighton's also on a Sunday, the late game. So the Saturday late game, Sunday late game, and then the last league game of the season for Arsenal. They need to get the 9 points there, and then we need to hope that the Everton game, it's where the games are coming. It's in between. Well, directly after the Champions League game against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Then it's Everton away. Remember, Everton got something at the Etihad, so that's also another thing, and they seem to have a little bit of a good history against Man City, same like they do against us at Goodson. And then obviously Chelsea go to the Etihad, and then those 2 key away games at the back end of the league season. Brighton away and Brentford away. Remember, Brighton tend to give Man City problems, and Brentford are one of the few teams to win at the Etihad this season. If not, I think they're the only team to win at the Etihad this season. So absolutely important for Arsenal to take advantage, and when we say take advantage, win your next 3 games. I have said the league is over, but when you look at it, there is still a little bit of hope. Man City are still continuing to win games. However, the hope that they've given us is their performance in the last 20 minutes after their penalty miss against Leeds. Very poor Leeds team, but they allowed Leeds back into the game. So that is possible in these Premier League games. So from an Arsenal standpoint, again, just getting back to the Newcastle game, I thought we were absolutely excellent in the fight. Yes, we still obviously gave chances. Newcastle United have been excellent at home. They've been bashing teams. It's not just about winning. They've been thrashing teams. So it was a huge win for Arsenal going up north there to Newcastle after a difficult season up north when we normally play the teams in the Manchester regions, and then last season's loss against Newcastle as well. So all those things you have to take into account. You have to take into account the form of Newcastle United. You have to take into account Arsenal's defending. Even when we're controlling and dominating games, we're still giving off loads of chances. In this game, we changed tactics with regards to playing out from the back. We allowed Newcastle to play out from the back, and then we pressed quite high All three our front forwards were extremely tired after 65, 70 minutes. That's why they were all substituted. Another tactical thing is, even though it's another left back or left centre back, Kivio alongside Gabriel, absolutely fantastic again. And it just shows you their mobility, versatility. That is the difference between, and you can now see it in the last two games, between the holding factor, who isn't a bad defender, it's just he's not good enough. So there we go. So he didn't make huge amounts of mistakes. He wasn't the only reason why Arsenal dropped points, but there is a reason. Since Saliba went out of the team and Holding came in, that Arsenal started dropping points and allowing more opportunities. Obviously, Thomas Partey also losing form. And then when Kivior came back in and Jorginho is now there, who's supposed to not be mobile, but he was absolutely excellent. My man of the match yesterday, even though the Arsenal website have different man of the match, BT Sport have a different man of the match, and Sky Sports have a different man of the match. That's Odegaard, Ramsdale and Jorginho. The three of them were exceptional. Our front three had to work really hard, so they were a little bit, well, they didn't really have much opportunities other than, I thought Jesus and Saka worked really hard off the ball. Martinelli always works hard off the ball. However, he missed probably 3 chances. So when you look at the Liverpool team when they were scoring all those goals, Mane, not Sané. I keep getting those two confused. Mane, Firmino, and Salah, they took their chances. Arsenal still had 3 great opportunities to score, or even 4. You can say Saka the one-on-one, Martinelli had a one-on-one, Odegaard had a one-on-one, and then Martinelli hit the post as well. And there was another chance for Martinelli. So Martinelli could have had a hat-trick. Saka could have scored. Odegaard should have scored. So we need to be more clinical. We're not killers, as we've said before. So that is the most important thing, for us to be killers next season, because Champions League, dominating games, and then the other team scores out of nothing, as it has been in the Europa League when we have struggled tactically. I felt Arteta not really being experienced from a managerial standpoint, from a tactical standpoint in Europe. And then obviously the players that we need to get in, Caicedo, Rice, we need to get both of them in. I don't know how long Thomas Partey is going to last. This is the first season we had less injuries, but now for the first time after a very good 70% of the season, he's lost form quite badly, quite significantly, and that could be due to another knock that he's carrying. And then also the time wasting. Go and have a look back at my Newcastle United podcast. I discussed time wasting in that game. The least amount of in-play football match, 53 minutes only at the Emirates Stadium, when Newcastle United were wasting time from the very first second. They obviously got what they came for. And then Arsenal now wasted time. We actually got the win. And we obviously struggled at certain parts during the game, so that's why we kind of time wasted in the game. So there was about 56 to 57 minutes of in play. So the 2 games that had the least amount of time of actual football taking place. And what did the Newcastle team go and do? They went to go and complain with the referee. Eddie Howe post-match complained that Arsenal were wasting time when they did it more at the Emirates, and that obviously allowed them to get their draw. However, in this case, Arsenal getting the win. So it's weird how life, comes in turnarounds. Manchester United, we played them off the park at Old Trafford, and then we ended up getting a late winner, deserved late winner in the Emirates game. So these things tend to happen. Unfortunately, against Man City, lost all 3 games against them this season, which could end up being the difference. So it's a lot of things where you can look at the fact that you play a team more than once. There is little changes within games, and then obviously Arsenal getting doubles over quite a few teams this season as well. Fantastic away record. I think that's 12 clean sheets away from home. The best by more than double. I think the next best is 5 clean sheets. So even Man City struggled a little bit away from home. Liverpool struggling away from home. Man United struggling away from home. A week ago, I went to the gym, and you've got Man United. First of all, they were so many points behind us. They were the ones that were coming to me and teasing me for Arsenal bottling the league. And since then, they've lost 2 games. They've also lost the Europa League game. They were very lucky to win the FA Cup semi-final against Brighton. Brighton should have won that game. They were lucky to beat Tottenham 2-2, or draw with Tottenham 2-2, sorry. And I thought they were fortunate against Aston Villa as well. So you reap what you sow at the end of the day. So I'm going to end off this one with still a week to go before we play Brighton. We know that Brighton do well at the Emirates. They've got a couple of wins. We've got Trossard, so Trossard should start. I think. I don't know what's the situation regarding Jesus and Saka possibly somewhere along the line getting a rest, and Trossard and Martinelli and Nketiah starting. I don't know if that's something that we can do, especially with us pushing for the league. But somewhere along the line, they maybe need to come off the bench as well. I don't know if this is the game to do so. And hopefully, Kivi or Thomas Partey and Gabriel, that three continues. Ben White had a bit of a tough game against Isaac because of the way that Arsenal's playing with the three centre backs when we don't have the ball. So now it's like Ben White tucks in as the right centre back, Kivio the central defender, and then obviously left centre back you've got Gabriel. So I thought both our fullbacks struggled defensively, and that's where they created opportunities in the Newcastle game. We must also admit that Newcastle, they didn't play that badly. They did hit the post twice, and then there was that fantastic Xhaka moment where he blocked Joseph Willock shot. And obviously Arsenal were then able to continue keeping a clean sheet. So fantastic stuff from Arsenal, fantastic subs. The Kieran Tierney Zinchenko situation is going to come into play as well, because Zinchenko is somebody that needs to be on the ball. Defensively, he can be suspect. So that's something that we need to look at, the left back situation. What do we do? Are we going to change it in certain games, or are we just going to allow us to be quite open from a defensive standpoint at left back? We know we've got Gabriel there to cover, and then on the right side, normally it would be Saliba, but now we've got Kivio as well. There is a little bit of imbalance with a left-footed right centre back, but we're making it work at this moment in time. We also have to look at what's the future of Thomas Partey. Is he carrying a knock, or is it just simply a little bit of loss of form? Because Jorginho's not always going to work. Or in this upcoming 3 games, will he work? Will we keep him there? Will we play Thomas Partey at right back? That's another thing to give Ben White a rest. So that's also something that we're going to have to look at. But for now, extremely happy that Arsenal were able to win at Newcastle. They showed a lot of fight. That's all I ask for. I can accept the loss, but you need to show fight. That I didn't get against Man City. That's why I didn't create any content after that game. But we're still in with a shout. We need Everton, and we need Chelsea, and we need one of Brighton and Brentford to help us out. And then there is opportunity, if Arsenal get 9 out of 9, for Arsenal to possibly snatch the league. I don't think it will happen, but there is hope. That's what's important. Up the Arsenal.